The others presumably had been a sort of territorial force in Singapore for some time. But one must say that they had had experience of the tropics, feeding, general well-being, and of course they all spoke at least 2 or 3 languages, Malay, Tamil, Chinese and so on. They worked very well indeed. They were highly cooperative, and their skills, especially in the cooking sense, were absolutely essential. I don't think we would have ever had any rice worthy of eating unless it had been for them. They had to virtually teach the cooks how to cook Asian foods and make the best of it. The ordinary troops themselves in the FSMVF participated in the same sort of work as our troops, and they all mucked in together and did the same sort of work, and unfortunately of course suffered all the same consequences of illness and so on. They must have put in an enormous amount of work in daily routine and connection with the Thais and people like them, Boon Pong, in getting hold of drugs and things of that nature. One must also say that you felt very sorry for quite a few of those officers, because a lot that I remember in my camps were well over 40s, almost in their 50s. John Pollock in his book mentions a judge. He doesn't call him Judge, but we only knew him as the Judge, Judge Laming. And he was quite a character, but he was a judge of the Supreme Court in Singapore. Gee. And I mean, he was a man then of must have been nearing 45, 50. And I can remember him well at Chung Kai, great character. And several others of the same ilk had been established managers of plantations and such like in Singapore. So they use the same managerial skills as prisoners. That enough?
Yeah, great. I don't suppose you ever heard Dad talk about Boon Pong, did you?
No. No, I mean, he would have mentioned it many times, I guess. Boon Pong, he accepted checks and things like that from officers, and was responsible for saving thousands of lives, no question.
Sorry, just very quickly, you don't remember Dad at all at Tarso?
Not at Tarso, no.
Just only at Nakhon.
Yeah, I only remember him at, several camps I must have seen him, because I knew him so well. Right. Yeah, and he'd done the same sort of job.
Because the guy, John Holman in Queensland, has memories of Dad and a guy called Ray Vaughan, again an Australian, and John Holman was convinced that Dad and John were trading with the Thais on the river.
Yes, well that's why I say the FSMVF must have had some sort of connection and work with them.
Yes.
And of course it would have had to have been kept very, very much underground.
Yeah. Thank you. No,
Fred, I can only say how much I appreciate, and I know John appreciates it, as he did appreciate being with you and Mary a couple of weeks ago. Thank you so much for giving so much of your story
Oh,
to have it recorded.
it's very broken up, but I can't remember this.
Well, look, I can't remember what I did yesterday, so I think you're doing very, very well. And may I say thank you so much
it's a great pleasure.
for your friendship and your generosity, so many things. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure.